Welcome to Double Shot of Penguins. Easy for me to say. Penguins versus Ducks is tonight at PPG Paints Arena. The news from the day was already lousy.
Yeah.
Both Yevgeny Malkin and Blake Lizotte are going to be out week to week. In the hockey jargon, that's not soon. If they think you're going to be out just a handful of days, they'll say day to day. When they say week to week, it's a bigger gap. It tends to be like a month. I mean, nobody wants to hear that, but that's the way that's shaping up. I don't need to tell anybody who's watching a program called Double Shot of Penguins that Geno was out of his mind for his age. But really not just for his age. I mean, he was just owning games at times. Now, on one hand, there are no positives when it comes to things like this, okay? You need Geno, and you've got 5 straight home games against fast teams here beginning tonight. When I think of someone who's that age, I'm also thinking about how they'll perform at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Okay? So between getting time down, which is what injury time is, the rest of your body recovers. He's also obviously not going to be participating in the Olympics because Russia is not permitted. And, man, it still stinks. I'm trying.
It does.
It still stinks. Lizotte being out stinks.
Lizotte,
Fourth line, the PK.
Yeah. Obviously, Malkin is the big thing here, but I really don't want to. I don't think Lizotte being out should be understated. I mean, fourth line center, kills pound. Like, he's really, really good at what he does. Like, you've talked about how, like, Mike Sullivan has described in the past, described certain players that way. And I think Lizotte
within a facet.
Right.
Yeah. Lizotte is relentless. Probably the best word for him.
Yeah, that's
at all 3 zones.
Yeah.
And he's all over the puck at all times. I thought something looked like it was wrong with him after that Dallas goal. The way he went back to the bench.
Yeah.
It didn't look very comfortable. But look, one way or another, they're going to be out. Mike asks here if Ricard Raquel would be back before Geno or around the same time. Raquel is probably, you're looking at the end of the month, this month.
I would say Raquel was on the ice today.
He's got a ways to go. Because it's a surgery.
Yeah.
On the hand, which means that the time that's prescribed is so specific and so accurate. Cody here says that center depth is getting a heavy test.
It really is. I mean, they bring up Danton Heinen and Sam Poulin.
Neither of whom you want at center.
No. So, like, who are your center options right now? I mean, legitimately, who are your
Well, what you have to do here, what you have to do at the center position, because you want to stay strong. This team, whenever it's going at its best, had Ben Kindle at third line center. I mean, that's what they were doing on this trip, and that's a really, really nice luxury to have Kindle out there with the 2 kids and everything else. In this skate, remember, Kevin Hayes has lots of experience at center. In fact, he's predominantly been a center in his career. So the lines that they went with at the skate today had Novak, again, up on the top line. You need Raquel back. I know Novak had a good game. I'm going to lay off of Novak.
I would say we need to have a conversation about Tommy Novak.
Novak stuff. But your second line now has Hayes filling the role of extra big dude on the extra big line between Anthony Mantha and Justin Brazeau. You still have the kids together. So you could still make this work. The third line or the fourth line center is Danton Heinen, which I don't know what else you could do. Everybody else that's available there is Connor Dewar, Nola Chari, and Sam Poulin, who's probably not going to play tonight. He's just going to be there and available. I think that they saw something in Tristan Brose that they didn't like in that one game that he was allowed to play, because Brose can also play center.
Yeah.
And he didn't get the call here. Heinen did it. Heinen does nothing.
It is interesting because when we're talking about all the there's all these players that Kyle Dubas has brought in, especially last year, and we kind of they're like the butt end of jokes. The Nola Charis and the Danton Heinens and like those type of players, and they haven't the jokes were like the same of Parker Wotherspoon, whatever. Now he's worked out; he's turned into
a
fine top 4 defenseman.
He really has.
But
top 4.
That's what I'm saying. He's not. He's playing on the top pair.
Here he is.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm saying for what the Penguins need. For what the Penguins need, but Danton Heinen's not really been that guy in either stint.
He's just been himself.
No.
This is what he does.
I would rather see Bros. I would rather see Bros there.
Unless again they know something happened here. This remark here from Vuk here says the fourth line with Achari back clicked immediately, and it did. I know you loved the goal they scored.
Oh gosh, the play that Lizotte made on the wall to feed Dewar the puck, and then Dewar finished against Ottinger. Now it probably wasn't Ottinger's best moment. I mean, the puck barely left the ice, and he let it get under the pad. Probably shouldn't let that goal in. If you're a USA Hockey fan, you're probably not happy seeing your starting goaltender give something up like that. But
the stick needed to be down.
But at the same time, it was a great play by Lizotte on the wall, and then Dewar at least put enough mustard behind the puck to get it under the pad. So it was still a good play. And the fourth line had life and energy, which if it's not putting the puck in the net, at least you want it to, wreak havoc on the ice. And it's a shame that it was only short lived because now Lizotte's out week to week.
Yeah, that stinks. It really does. Zach asks, what did Tommy Novak do to you? I see what it is that they like. Yeah. Okay. When Dan Muse at one point was talking about Novak, this was probably about 10 to 12 games into the season.
Yeah.
And accident or not, Muse started to go off on a little bit of a sidebar regarding Novak and the little things that he does and what it is that they like about him. He makes plays in tight quarters. He makes smart plays.
He does.
He makes plays that help define possession. I'm going to drop a name on you guys here, and you're not going to like it, but you probably should, and that was Dominic Simone. The reason that Mike Sullivan and those guys loved Dom, even though Dom never scored, was that Dom would change possession. Mm-hmm. Dom would go into a situation along the boards, and he would emerge with the puck. And not only would he emerge with it, Chris, he would then make the right play out of there. Mm-hmm. They saw that as just a rink flipper.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm thinking of the play that he made, I think, on his goal, the one he tipped in Dallas.
It was him. He made his own. Yeah, he set up his own play.
Right, because that puck's kind of jumping all over the place, and then he's settles it down, slows the play down behind the net. Then he works it back. It ends up getting back to he gets it to Sid. Sid gets it to Letang. Letang one times it, and then Novak gets out in front and is able to get a stick on it and tip it.
It's a very, very good hockey goal.
Yes,
all along.
It really was.
You can set up your own goal.
Yeah. No, seriously, it was a great play by Novak. I mean, now to your point, it's not like Novak's played that well every single game this year, but he does do a lot of little things right, and that does complement well when you're playing with world-class players like Sid.
Well, that might be the other variable that comes into this. They've tried, obviously, several different people up there.
Yeah, because until Raquel comes back,
And they're also looking for somebody to settle things down defensively because, not to go after, the greatest player alive, but, Sid and Rust had been putting together some significant minuses.
Yeah.
That's why Philip Hollander was put there. Hollander comes down with a blood clot.
Yeah. I really wanted to see Hollander there because, as soon as Raquel goes down, you're like, okay, they need to find somebody who can consistently play next to Sid and Rust. And I really thought Hollander was going to be able to be that kind of guy because he is such a vicious forechecker. in the offensive zone. He does so many little things well to maintain possession in the offensive zone, and he's responsible in the defensive zone too. And so I thought that would have been a really nice compliment. And he has enough scoring touch, but we just haven't seen it.
Yeah, he hasn't shown
consistently
the
in
confidence
the NHL.
hasn't come. I obviously before he was hurt, this was up in St. Paul. I had a chance to talk with Hollander for a good while. This was after a skate, and he felt like his scoring and everything was coming along, but he also told me he knew why he was on that line.
Yeah.
And he was making sure that he took care of business. In the short time that he was with those guys, the advanced analytics on it were through the roof.
Yeah.
Because all they did was, Sid or Rust would score, they'd set up somebody else, and Hollander was giving up nothing.
Yeah.
And it worked. It worked for a 5-on-5 thing. It really worked. And look, here's just hoping that he's healthy. Blood clots aren't.
No, I mean we've
Pascal Dupuis and everything.
Unfortunately for the Penguins, we've seen this happen, and not just once.
No,
with players, this is it's serious stuff.
Zachary here says, why don't they give Kindle a look at 2C and Bros at 3C? It's crazy to me. This feels like the perfect time to give Kindle the runway at 2C. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. This is actually a really, really good question.
Yeah,
Zachary, I'm not pandering to you. It's really worth a thought, because would you have potentially a more dynamic second line with Kindle on it? Yes. Mm-hmm. What do you give up in the process? You give up the kid line. Mm-hmm. And maybe there's something there where you wouldn't necessarily want, my latest guy to pick on, by the way, is Mantha. It's just, dude, move the wheels. He's got wheels. Big guy, he can fly, and yet you don't see the churn in the skates nearly often enough. And I don't know that I want to saddle the kid with somebody who's not moving.
Yeah.
Does that make
No, that makes a lot of sense. And yeah, I do think it's an interesting thought for sure, because again, I would like to see Bros up here and playing, just to get
let's just find out.
Let's just find out. It's more than a game, because like I was saying, I don't remember if it was on yesterday's show or what, but I love the kid line being together, and I think it needs to stay together as much as possible, because I want to see those guys work through the growing pains that will happen. I mean, Kindle's been phenomenal, but it's not like this is like his ceiling. He can get better. Koivunen can obviously get better.
He sure can.
And he needs to get better.
Yep.
McGroarty, the first thing is get on the ice.
He's not even on the launch pad yet.
Stay on the ice consistently, and then it's get better. And I want to see the young guys get better together.
Here's another great point, also from Zachary, who says, thing is, though, weren't McGroarty, Bros, and Koivunen in a line, meaning in Wilkes-Barre, and a good one in the AHL. And you value that, too.
Exactly, yeah.
Which, again, makes me wonder, what was Bros' major malfunction? Dude, he comes up for one game.
Mm-hmm.
One game. Parents, family, everybody in, all the first lap and all that other stuff.
They do the interviews and all that stuff.
And then he's a healthy scratch for the next two.
Yeah.
And
poof. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, he wasn't bad.
No.
And we kept an eye on him.
Yeah.
In that game, he had a couple of shots on goal. He shot first, passed later. All the things you'd want to see. I know he's not the world's greatest skater, and he's not. He's not super fast.
Yeah.
And he's not the world's biggest guy either, but they didn't find that out that night.
No.
You know what I mean?
No. No, not at all. The one thing that
he might have backed into Muse's car. This is quite possible, Icon says.
I am a little curious of, and while the whole Mantha thing, bugaboo that you've got going on, I wonder if Kindle. I know.
He's not skating hard. It's not on me.
But I'm wondering about. I think Kindle, with his vision and his IQ, could help open things up. This not the same way that Geno can, but like a fraction of that, because and you saw what it unlocked when Malkin was playing in between both Mantha and Brazeau. Because it's not like Brazeau was only the guy playing well. He was getting the goals, but Mantha was playing well too. So if you have, I'm not saying Hayes isn't a playmaker. He can absolutely make plays, but I just think that highly of Kindle, I guess.
Well, I'm going to say this too. And I'm not just saying this because he's like the most awesome guy, which he actually is. But you out there are way too down on Hayes. This guy can play.
Oh, I'm not.
He's a multiple-time All-Star.
Yeah.
And he's not 50 or something. Okay. You and every other fan base, when Hayes was playing for their team, go, why isn't he moving? Why isn't he going? He's never done that.
Yeah.
You know, as Ron Francis once famously spoke as he got older, well, how was he so productive in his later days with Carolina? He said, I didn't have a step to lose.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
That's Hayes. So whenever I'm teasing Hayes in Tampa and I say about that breakaway that he got in Philadelphia, I don't remember who was chasing him. It might have been, I don't remember right now, but the Flyers had somebody like right on his back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ooh, here comes Hayes on the breakaway. I'm teasing because you can do that with him. The guy's an unbelievably great personality. And he shot me some love. Love.
We'll call it love.
Because he can do that.
Yeah.
And I go, and I said, hey, look at it this way. Nobody was getting around you.
Yeah.
And they know because he had learned forever ago how to use that huge frame of his to shield people off. Mantha does it too. Mantha's had as many breakaways, clean bleeping breakaways as anyone on the team, not just because he's floating around at center ice waiting for a pass.
There's an art to it.
There's an art to it. You have to be able to use that wingspan. You straddle the legs. You make sure that nobody's getting around you, at least between here and where I need to be to shoot the puck.
Yeah, I think Hayes is definitely. I have no issue with him taking over as that second line center. I would like to see Bros get up here and play for sure, no doubt about that.
Over Heinen,
for sure.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see when that announcement gets made today that Malkin and Lizotte are going on IR, that it would be Poulin and Bros and not Heinen. Again, we know what Danton Heinen is right now. You kind of need answers on Tristan Bros. You kind of need answers on Rutger McGroarty and all these other young players, some of which are up in the NHL right now, and others are not. And you know they need answers. I would like to see Bros play.
Yeah, I would too. And he's done everything that's asked above and beyond here. Smith family points out that our Festivus around our house is going to be classic. I can't do it real good, Jerry Stiller. Can you? I got a lot of problems with you people.
No, I cannot.
I can't.
No.
I wish I could.
I can do some impressions, but that's not one of them.
Jerry Stiller?
No, not at all.
Okay, so now we ask which ones can you do?
I don't want to do any of them right now. We're talking hockey right now. Unless you want to hear Smeagol talk hockey, but that's not happening.
I would very much.
Maybe at the end of the show.
Pittsburgh Sports fan says, I think we just need to see what we got. Enough of these recycled players coming up from the minors. Yeah, you're getting a little intangible on me there, but I know I don't mind bringing up somebody who can play. And if Heinen was Heinen, man, everybody knows what a Heinen is like on their team, where you see that they can do anything. Heinen has a finish in the NHL, at the NHL level, that when he's on and he shoots the puck, you're convinced this is a 40-goal guy. I mean, that's the class of the finish that he has. He can skate. He can really pass. He makes some tremendous passes. Never, and he'll do it for like a couple of games. And then you think, wow, Heinen.
Yeah.
And he buys himself like 17 games of nothing but eggs on the score sheet. It drives you nuts.
Yeah. No, it really is one of those.
Star in the KHL is good.
Yeah, Icon says Heinen would be a star in the KHL. I mean, yeah. Listen. It's and Koken says he's streaky. He is, and I think that just goes to show that whenever you can have something like there's something missing there when it comes to finding consistency at the NHL level. It's really, really hard to maintain consistency when you don't do one thing better than almost anyone else. Alex Ovechkin was always going to have a long career because he could shoot the puck better than anybody else on the planet. He was always going to have a long career. You start and then you break it down and some guys do multiple things at an elite level. Heinen does a lot of things really well, but almost none of them are at that type of level consistently. And I think that's the problem that you'll see streakiness out of that.
Guys, we're going to call it a show for today, and we're going to thank you for watching. It's Penguins versus Ducks tonight. That's a 7:08 p.m. face-off. There will be a daily shot of Penguins, as always, my podcast in the morning, and we'll have a double shot of Penguins for you tomorrow. And we'll be back with more, and we'll have a whole big game to talk about and everything else. Archer Sheloves
against the Mighty Ducklings
in the shootout. See you guys tomorrow.